Hey there, and welcome to the Brittany Wheeler Show. Join Brittany as she interviews incredible people whose stories will uplift you and remind you the life you long for is just ahead. Buckle up for an inspirational ride to your best life. Take it away, Britt.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Brittany Wheeler Show. For those of you that are watching via YouTube, you get to see my awesome guests. Yes, plural. We've had the opportunity of having a couple different varieties of sizes of people, but this is my first ever interview with a married couple. I know I've talked to married couples, so it's not strange, but it's really exciting. My first ever interview, and this is going to blow your mind. I'm already a huge fan of this couple and their individual work, so I'm going to jump in and introduce them so we can get to our conversation. They're a husband-wife team. They're both daughter, sons, friends, creatives, lovers of nature. It will make you feel a little bit like you need to get yourself outside more because they're that fantastic. They're entrepreneurs, risk takers, dreamers, and just honestly, their fire for doing what is on their heart and what like their gifting will make you be like, okay, what can I do? Because it's just so inspiring. So I'm excited to talk today with Mindy and Doug Michaels. Please welcome them to the Brittany Wheeler Show.
Thank you, Brittany.
Thank
Hi.
you. Hi.
Guys, so we're so excited to have you. I would love for you, because we've got two sets of listeners. We've got listeners that are listening like via traditional audio channels, and then we've got followers that are going to be watching on YouTube. So set the scene of like, where are you guys, right? Because I'm sitting in my chair in a 4-wall house. I think it's really cool that you set the scene of where you guys are, what you're doing, and it'll give a little insight on what you guys are doing right now currently in life.
All right.
We're about 45 minutes outside of Phoenix. We're near the Superstition Mountains. We're on public state land, and we're in our truck camper. We live full time for the last 3 years and 8 months.
Yeah, almost 4 years.
In our truck camper, we have less than 80 square feet of living space. So most of our time is spent in the outdoors.
Yes. Very much.
And together, very close.
Yes. And together. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your space with us. And this is also my first ever like on state land and like travel interviews. So this is so cool. We're like, obviously I've done interviews with people in other parts of the country, but this is really cool. And just what you guys do is really awesome. So this next segment that we go into, I love to pass to guests. I think it's really important in any podcast just to kind of create the foundation of just like trust with the audience. Like, who are these people? Like, how do they know each other? And so normally when I first started this podcast, I would ask my guests like to share a story of us. And that's where Dave comes in, right? Who referred you to me. And we had history. So we were able to talk about first time we met or whatever. But now, like, you guys, we've just met really recently. So instead of obviously like how we met is awkward, like Dave introduced us. That's silly. I'm not going to ask that. And it wouldn't be for a great conversation. But I would love to know, why did you say yes to being on the show? And what is exciting you about that?
You want to go first?
I met Dave in 2021, I think, for the first time. And we connected on a TV show. We worked together. And then a while after, I saw him post that he was on a podcast. So I checked the podcast out. So I watched an episode of this when Dave was on. And I thought it was an interesting episode. It kept my interest the whole way. I watched the whole thing. And so when Dave's like, hey, I should connect you two, you guys should talk, I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, yeah, we should do this because I watched his episode and I thought it was interesting and informative. And so I figured, yeah, why wouldn't we?
And Dave, I just met him in person recently, but we had been following each other online for a while because we share similar interests because he has a Airstream and he camps and all of that. So I was like, oh, if he's recommending us this, obviously it's something we should look into. And then, immediately was like, oh, wow, you're doing cool stuff. Yes, I would love to talk to someone like this. Love meeting people that are doing creative, cool things and reaching outside the box and just chasing dreams and just living life big. So definitely was drawn to the idea.
Thanks, guys. I'm over here being like, oh, they like me. This is so exciting. Well, I'm a huge fan of both of you. And I was telling Mindy offline, you guys, that I was like, I need your content to stop inviting me in because it's so I like it. It makes me jealous. I'm like, this is amazing. And we will share what, you'll get to hear what both her and Doug do and get to figure out the best way to follow them and support them. But, Mindy, I really wanted to start with you and just kind of who like at the end of the day, like obviously I know you, we've got to know each other a little bit, Dave, but like everybody listening, nobody here knows you. So I would love for the audience to know like what was your childhood like, honestly? And why I think this is important is like how did your childhood shape who you've become now? Because your life is really stinking cool. And I personally would love to know like how does that connect?
I love this because I reflect all the time and I like literally see how my childhood like shaped me dramatically actually. Like it makes sense. I'm like, "Oh, this makes sense I'm living this way because of who I was as a kid." My mom always said she would like waste money buying me gifts like dolls and stuff like that because I would never play with toys inside. I was always outside. Always running around the backyard. Like I would like knock on my neighborhood friends' doors. I'd be like, "Let's play hide and go seek." Let's like, just always wanted to be outside and adventuring. And that also stems from my parents. They would take me camping. They have an immense love for the outdoors as well. And then the creative side, same on the same end, I would knock on my friends' doors and be like, "Hey, do you want to make a play?" And it was like I would like literally direct plays as like a 6 and 7-year-old on my parents' back deck. And then to my parents' embarrassment, I would go around and knock on all my neighbors' doors and ask if they wanted to watch our plays. So yeah, I've been like just fascinated with storytelling, whether it be like telling stories around a campfire, like when we went camping as kids, or if I was making my own plays, I used to write. I had like made up little stories as a kid. I was a dancer, so like I just loved performing and then just storytelling in all different sorts of mediums. And I loved being outdoors. So I think it makes pretty much sense that like makes a lot of sense now that I am creating and telling stories and living a life outdoors.
So cool. Also, you were an entrepreneur. You're out there hustling, telling your neighbors, like, get out here. Come on, come be my audience.
Oh, yeah.
So fun. And it's so cool. I've been having this conversation with the past couple of guests, and I've noticed this trend. Like, I've noticed this trend when individuals are out within their element. They're in their gifts, they're in their talents. How like who they were as a child 1000% foreshadowed where they are now. And then I just also love to talk about like the middle, right? Like that also intrigues me. And you have a middle too, which is great. And I think it's so cool that it's also so fulfilling, right? When you can put the beginning and where you are now connected, because then the middle stuff, which seemed really crazy and well, what am I doing? It wasn't for nothing, right? There's a sense of like, okay, that was part of the process. I love it. We have our first cat on the episode. This is great. No, this is awesome.
I was trying to hold him down, but he
We've had a dog and now we'll have a cat. This is incredible. He's it. He's like, excuse me. Also, will you talk to my lawyer so we can get so I can get some rights to this? Thanks. Oh my gosh, so cute. I love it. I love it. No, my gosh, don't be sorry at all. It's so cool. Both of your stories are super cool. And so, Doug, I want in the same vein, you have an incredible talent that it's interesting because you spent less time in the gray area, I believe, than Mindy did until now. Like you really had a sense of self, I think, as a young man. So I would love to know, like, where did this love for photography and cameras and just, again, storytelling and being behind the artistry, where did that come from? Like, how did that come about?
I really think it came from my grandparents. My grandmother on my dad's side always used to buy me disposable cameras and, encouraged me to just go out and take pictures. And she used to like take us to the zoo and take us to different parks. And she used to take me. We had a family camp and then up near the National Forest in Pennsylvania when I was a kid. And so I'd go spend a week or two up there with them. And she, just encouraged me to take photos. And then she entered me into the local newspaper photo contest when I was like 11 or 12. And I got first place and I got published in the paper. and I was a paper delivery boy at the time. So I thought it was really cool to have one of my pictures in the paper that I delivered. And because every day you gotta, you gotta fold them and then you gotta roll them up. So I would look at the pictures. I was interested. I didn't care what the words said. I just wanted to see what the pictures were as I rolled them up real quick. And because you can't read the paper, that quick. So I
Right.
like just browsing the pictures, and then I was, oh, now one of those are mine. And my other grandmother, she always loved movies and was super interested in movies and always told me, you should be a director. You should be a director. And at that point, I already knew I loved photography. I was like, no. And I would watch the credits. I was like, director of photography. That's what I would want to be. I don't want to be the director, but I would want to be the director of photography. So, since I was a kid, I would say I wanted to be a director of photography, or I wanted to be a photographer. And, those were my toys after that. Like, I made skateboard videos with my friends because, that's what I was interested in life. It was the cameras and skateboarding. So I made skateboarding videos. And then I had a buddy that was super into comics and was like, hey, let's make a Superman movie, but our own original story with all our own stuff, but in the vein of Superman. And I was like, I'm not really into Superman, but I'm into cameras. Like, yeah, I want to be the camera guy. I want to make a movie. I want to figure out how we make you fly practically to make this look cool, even though we're
Yeah.
just kids in high school and we have no budget and have no idea how to use a green screen. But, we're going to figure this out because, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play with cameras. I wanted to tell stories with them. And so that's really how I got started on my journey.
I love that Mindy could have really used your help early on in her play creation days. She really would have benefited from your skill. However, redemption, because she benefits from your skill now in the work that you do together, right? So, thank goodness for the director of photography. And
I always say that. I was like, if I met you in high school, like we could
We
be
would've been
like,
unstoppable.
YouTube, watch out. We would have been huge by now. I was like, oh man, missed opportunity, but at least we came together eventually.
yes, you would have been a household name. It would have been like
Yeah.
Mindy and Doug. Do you know you don't know who Mindy and Doug are?
They're like
I'm
the
sorry.
OG YouTubers.
Yeah, literally. Oh,
Oh,
and I just love the little puzzle pieces. Like for me, I love the details, right? I just love how uh, and you guys even shared with me when we were getting to know each other, like you both grew up fairly close to each other and in relation to actually where you met. And like which is such a cool like love story. Obviously, that's important, but I just think it's really special that the two of you have unique gifts that are important to both of you, and yet you can come together and work together because that's not every couple. Like, is that this is not even a question, but like share with the audience because you work together, you live together within 80 square feet, and I know there's some listeners that are literally clenching butt cheeks because they're like, how do they do it? But like I would love to know, like, yeah, like what has been your system for success? How do you make that work? Because it is a challenge living, working, breathing, eating together all the time.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah. There are some challenging times where it's like, okay, you go outside, take a walk, and I'm going to sit in here and work. Like, yes. But I just think from the beginning, like our whole relationship stemmed from like our shared goals and passions and dreams in life and like friendship. Like we developed a really strong friendship before we ever started dating. And like we just had this innate like trust and like honest, open communication. And like, yeah, I just think because like we're best friends. So of course we get on each other's nerves, but like we're best friends and we had the same like dreams and passions in life and we just feed off of that. And yeah, I mean, I think sometimes I think it's crazy that we are able to work together. And yeah, I mean, it's not always easy, but yeah, I wouldn't trade it.
I mean, I just felt like it was natural because we started working together on projects.
Mm.
And we worked together for almost 2 years. We had
Before dating, yeah.
Yeah, and we worked on some indie movies where like we were at like a camp and we're like all in the same building. Like we each had our own room, but you're all sharing the living space and stuff. So we got to spend a lot of time together from the
Right off the
get-go.
bat, yeah.
And I felt like that's what made us close friends. And
Mhm.
we were good friends for 2 years before we ever started
Start dating,
dating.
yeah.
And so I just, this relationship was built on a friendship that was brought together by our passions from the beginning that
I could cry. This is such a beautiful story.
I don't know. I can't imagine not wanting to get to do this, like get to be creative together, create things we want to create together while spending all of our time together. Like, I can't imagine wanting a job where we don't get to be creative together because we've got to be creative together for so long that, like, sometimes I hated it. Like when I got a job and it's like, oh, this is a great opportunity, but I'm going to have to leave you for 3 months. And that sucks. And like, even like, if the opportunity is allowed, like if I had to travel for a gig for 3 months, a lot of times she would come, and even if she was on a gig, she would just be like, oh, I'm in this city now. You got to fly me out of this city. So she could be there
and come meet,
with me until she had to go out for her job. So it was just like, I don't know.
We would spend some time apart, but we didn't want to. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like, no, we preferred if we could, like we prioritize like, oh, we can both get on this project together. Let's try and get on this one as opposed to me going to do this one because we can work on that one together. And I'd rather work together on that one than you go do your thing, me go do my thing, and then we'll meet up later. Like, I don't know.
It's cool. It's so cool. I for me, I think that hits home, and I think a lot of listeners need to hear the value of, this was a friendship, right? This was, you guys got to know, like, yes, like the stuff that maybe you didn't want to know a little earlier and deal with it anyways, because you're like, well, like Doug farts. Okay, cool, right? Like, Mindy leaves her hair in the drain, whatever, because like, again, like you're just friends, right? So it's just, and you can kind of, there's something really cool when you are in that space too, because you can call each other up. You're like, no, like, Doug, no, go to the other room, where you may not do that, right? When you're in a relationship. And that just got me excited for you guys because that really, like you said, it really did create the foundation. And then on top of that, you guys love what you do. And so and just anybody listening can hear that, like, each of you is the missing part. Like, not that you weren't whole, you were whole individually, but when it comes to your gifts, like, you're able to the yin and the yang to each other.
Yeah. No, it is kind of crazy how we just like, fit. I like think
so.
I'm like, it's so weird. We always talk about the timelines of our life too, because like we'll like tell stories about our high school, and I'm just like, wait, I was doing similar stuff. Like we did similar stuff throughout our whole life, and then like just finally, and we always wanted like we had the same favorite movie, and we always wanted Into the Wild, obviously, which is why we're living like this now. I was just like, I don't know. We just had so many things. Like we both met, and we would talk about living like this since we met. Like,
that was one of the first ways I feel like we connected is like, okay, we wanted to make movies and be creative.
But we also wanted to live.
Then we started talking about travel, and then, that was a lot of our conversations in the beginning was travel related stuff and how we wanted to make content about traveling or this or that. Yeah. And it was like,
game over. So it's like, whoa, this is crazy how much we're aligned.
Yeah, it's almost like you can't not notice it. You're like, this is too real and too right for it not to be. Like it's just like, okay, this is overwhelming in a good way of like there's not another option, right? Okay, so where are you both from technically? And I'd love for you to share with the audience, where did you actually meet? Because that is, I think, is also fun.
Okay, so I'm from a small town, like 45 minutes, I guess it's north, pretty much north of Pittsburgh, called Kittanning, Pennsylvania.
And I'm from Newcastle, which is about an hour west of her and about an hour north of Pittsburgh.
So it makes like a triangle. I'm here. I'm from, and then Doug, and then Pittsburgh, is the point at the end. We ended up meeting in Pittsburgh at a casting call. Doug and his friends were making, cameraman, they were making an independent film, and they need actors. And I was still in college at the time, but I wanted to act. I wanted to make movies and TV and that kind of stuff. So I went. I was just like, and it was, this is what's even crazier, is the role was for a girl that traveled full time. She was like a nomad. It
was a road trip movie.
And the girl was like the hippie in it and stuff. And right?
Guys,
I know.
It's like your life story.
I literally get chills when I think about like the serendipity or like, the coincidence of this all. because I read the script and I was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm obsessed with Into the Wild and that kind of stories. Like, this is the exact role I want to play. I was like, I'm a little bit too young for the character. She was supposed to be a little bit older at the time. I was like, I don't care. I'm going. So I went to the casting call. Long story short, ended up getting the part. And yeah, we worked ever since together. Yeah.
So, and Doug, what drew you to that particular job?
That job? Oh, well, that was a project my one of my best friends, John, he wrote the script. He wrote part of it at my apartment. He came up and spent a couple of days and we worked on it together. I'm not a good writer, but I love bouncing ideas off writers and helping. Oh, okay, let's go here with it. Because that's what I used to do with my buddy in high school that he wrote the movies that I shot. So I like being a part of the writing process. I don't like being the writer, though. So I helped him with that a little bit. And so then we were going to make a trailer. So we had a casting call. So I was helping at the casting call. I was filming all the auditions. So I filmed her audition to be in the movie.
Yeah.
So then, he was at our wedding. We were at his wedding.
Oh, yeah. We're still good friends with everyone.
He's still one of our best friends to this day. And we still...
You wrote your wife's story. You wrote the story for your wife. Literally, I'm like, this is so
funny though. This is my favorite part to tell. I was going to leave this out, but I can't now. The funny is he is the one who didn't want to cast me. He got outvoted by his friends. Yeah, so that was almost the end of our story. That could have been
okay. Doug, I want to understand more because I want to give you space to process this. Why did you not believe that Mindy was qualified for that role as your wife?
I didn't think she was qualified, and I thought her audition, the story she told, was hilarious. And I thought, this is a person I would love to collaborate with. But as the role was written, which I didn't fully write, my buddy wrote, I thought it was more, she was this happy, full of joy, bubbly blonde. And I thought
really blonde then.
That it was more of a Kristen Stewart, a brunette, darker hair, more subtle, reserved type of role. And that's not how she auditioned. I didn't think she was bad. I just didn't think she was right for the role that it was written.
Fair.
But everyone disagreed with me. So obviously I was wrong.
I have to say thank you for not writing the whole script. Because if you did, you would have said no. And then we would not be here today. Right. Because there would be no Mindy and Doug. That is gosh, that is such a cool story. And Mindy, I'm interested to know what, obviously you're going to that role, right? That's a time of your life where you're just figuring it out. You had this young girl experience, boss in your neighborhood, come to my plays. And then where you are today, what do you think outside of having brunette hair? What do you think was missing in that 20-year, old version of yourself? That was the gap, right? Between your childhood, youthful, I feel this fire for what I'm doing, and then the version of you now?
Oh, that's a great question. I think I kind of just lost my way in the noise of society, I guess is the best way I can put it. Expectations. I was expected to go to college, and I can tell you right up front, I did not want to go to college. I remember my best friend and I had a conversation before we both went to college, and I was like, I don't want to do this. And he was like, either do I. I was like, I just want to go to LA and start working in movies, blah, blah, blah. LA was always the dream for film when you're younger. Didn't know I could do it from Pittsburgh. But yeah, I don't know. I felt, and then I went to college, and that was that was probably the worst years of my life, college, is because I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I was going to school and I don't know, living in a bubble, and I don't know, I had, it's your first taste of freedom after you're 18, after high school. And I just wanted to go see things, experience things, write, create. Yeah. Not just have a formula I had to follow. So yeah, I don't know. I think I kind of lost myself in that. And then I also didn't know how to get to my dreams. I knew what I wanted to do. I don't think I ever really lost sight of the fact that I wanted to tell stories and travel. I always wanted to do that. but I just didn't know how to make that possible. Because like, yeah, I didn't come from money, and like I was like working my way through college and all of that. So it's like, well, how do I just go and do this? Like, so I don't know. The fact that I felt stuck and didn't know how to get out of that, kind of, hindered me for a while before I got to where I am now.
And I think there's so many young women that can relate and men that can relate to that of like, okay, I made this decision because my parents or people that I love and care about me, right? I say this often on the podcast. Our parents and our family's advice is filled with love and coated with fear. And
Yes.
it's simply because they love us so much, but they why would they let you go and write and not have any money and pursue your dreams without a paycheck, right? Especially if they work their butt off to provide for you, right?
Yeah.
And so it's fair and reasonable, but I think
Oh,
there's
yeah.
so many people who are like, oh, go do this thing, whether it's going to college, whether it's going into the military. It doesn't even matter what it is, right? It's, you got to play all these sports in high school. And then you find yourself lost. Like, I never really liked sports,
Like,
but I'm
yeah.
good at it. So people just kept telling me to go and do it. And like, to your point, like how that spent space of being lost is like, how do you get to the next step? So like, I want to even dig a little further.
Yeah.
How did you get to the next step? Like, how did you come out of that?
Slowly, by making a lot of mistakes. I ended up leaving the college I was at because it was first of all expensive. I was paying so much and I didn't even want to be there. So I'm like, why am I going here? And also I wasn't around my friends, especially my best friend who I grew up creating with. The same one that we had the whole conversation that we didn't want to go to college. We wanted to create. He was like my Doug. He would do like the camera stuff and everything. He wasn't as into it as you, but he loved editing and all that. And I wasn't around people that wanted to do the same things I wanted to do in my college. It was mostly a nursing, like medical college, nothing wrong with that, but I just didn't have creative, close people around me. So I finally left that college and transferred to a college close to my home, Katanning, not far. And so I could be around my friend because he too left his college. Surprise! Neither of us wanted to be there to begin with. And we started hanging out again and like creating, I don't know. And then I was, still not so happy, but it was better because at least I had someone like-minded that I could bounce creative ideas off of and stuff. And he's the one who actually found the first casting call for me in a newspaper. And he's like, hey, and this was for a big movie being filmed in Pittsburgh. It was called I Am Number 4. I don't know if you ever, it's like a alien teen adaptation of a book. Wait, it's Aliens. You worked on it too.
Yeah.
It's Alien. Yeah, Alien.
It's like Alien.
And they were looking for extras. That's it. But I, at that point, was like, whoa, there's Hollywood movies with like big actors. Like one girl from the show Glee was in it. So it was like people I knew, like big. And I was like, this is coming to Pittsburgh? What? Immediately, my friend's like, yeah, I'll go with you. So we like went to the casting call and we got casted to be in like several scenes throughout the summer. Obviously, no speaking or anything. We're just extras.
And we didn't know this till years later. We're in the same scene.
We're in the same scene. We didn't know that till after we started. Yeah. He was there.
No.
He was there. And we never crossed paths. Yeah. But that was kind of the thing that lit my fire. I was like, oh, this is possible here in Pittsburgh. And immediately I started making connections and like asking people like, well, how do you find acting work? And like we'd all share like, how we find our acting jobs and stuff like that. So I started while in college, while working part-time at a grocery store, started going to all these auditions and acting. And that was like the light. And I was just like, I'm taking steps forward to what I want to do. So even though I was still doing stuff I didn't want to do, I knew I had like momentum. And yeah, that carried me. I started doing movies and stuff and eventually did drop out of college. I was almost done. Should have just finished. But I started, started working
you
in
still
the
have time if you ever want to go back when you're 60. You're
exactly,
good.
right?
When you retire.
Yeah.
You go back to college. Yeah, exactly.
Started working in the industry.
It is so... Well, first off, and again, I think there's so many similarities between you and Doug, and there's so many differences, but in really beautiful ways. But I love that you shared, and for anybody listening, I think there's a lot of people that are suffering in silence, right? They're suffering because they're not truly happy with what they're doing. They have no idea how to get from point A to point B. And what I heard is like, put aside all the details that are very particular to your story, is you took a big leap of faith, and you literally did something that you didn't necessarily feel comfortable or sure about doing, but it was a big change, right? And that was to leave the college. The first, like literally that was the step that
Mhm.
unlocked the opportunities because it got your, creative space flowing because you were in proximity to your friend. And then obviously like having an advocacy. So like when you think about it, there's many, many steps that got you to where you are.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it was just like that one of saying, okay, this college isn't it. That's the unlock.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but like, what is the unlock in your life? Right. What is the one thing that you need to do that you don't know how the rest of it's going to play out, but you know if you make this decision, it's going to be closer, at
Yes.
least to what you want to do and to make it there.
Yeah.
Um, which is, and again, like then the other steps fall into place.
Yeah. I always say, like, yeah, like, of course I was scared. I didn't know if I was making the right choice, but like, I felt like I'll never know if I don't do this. And
Yeah.
it's been eating at me. So just gotta take that risk and follow. Yeah.
So cool. And Doug, your story, in my opinion, is a little bit different. Like you had a no matter what, I'm not shaking this, get on my bandwagon, or just, breathe in the smoke from the back and like you're gonna deal with it. So and when you were sharing your story with me when we first connected, for me, resilience and grit were the two things that came to mind. Because if people think that this industry is easy on you, they're lying. And if they think that it happens in the first time, it really never does. Like it takes many, 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 many tries and attempts and doing it over and over again before that opportunity to even make money comes out, let alone make money to be able to provide for your family, and your life. And so, I would love for you to share with the audience, when did you make that decision to go from this is fun to like, I'm going to actually treat this like a business. I'm going to pursue this. This is going to be my career. Uh, because I think there's so much, again, a lot of people who are like, I love doing this. I want to do this for a living. But most of the people don't know how to do what it takes to make a living off of it. So I want to know from you, like, what was that transition point?
Yeah, I'd say I knew I wanted to do it as a kid. I made a couple of movies with my friends. And then, I did same way with her. I was told, you got to go to college. So I went to a cheaper, close by college because I thought I'd save money. And I went for photography because I was like, I like doing movies. I like doing video. I like doing photography, but like photography is the basics of it all. And at the core, that's what I really love the most is the still image, and video is just a bunch of still images playing real fast. So I was like, if I at least know that, I could do everything. So I went to school for photography, and you sign up, you take tens of thousands of dollars of loans, and you do all this stuff, and then you don't find out until you actually start that I have to wait 2 years before I ever get to touch a camera. And after I found that out, that just killed all my motivation. I'm just like, what? I've already made 2 feature films. I've been published numerous times. I already had footage that aired on a TV show that I got paid for, and I've already shot wedding videos. I was just like, now I'm so unqualified as a student that I don't even get to play with a camera or learn anything for 2 whole years. And so then I ended up dropping out, and I worked as a shoe salesman at a few different shoe stores. Um, and then I got a call from my one buddy who had a segment on a TV show, and he's like, "Oh, I need you to come film a bunch more." So then I quit my shoe store job. I was like, "Yes, this is what I want to do. I got to focus on this. I can't waste my time with other things. I just got to focus all my energy on how I can make money doing this." And then I was just like, then everyone started telling me to go back to college. So I went back to college again, but I went to the Art Institute, and it wasn't great, but they let you touch camera from day one. They let you
So
play
you're like, all right, I won't leave right away. I'll stay for at least the first hour.
Well, I mean, I was like, at least I get to be creating
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
And I did have some good teachers that worked for some good outlets that I learned a lot from about being a storyteller and how to tell stories and how to get hard stories. So, I figured out in college that I knew 95% of all the things I needed to know about cameras already. I didn't know go to college to learn about cameras. I needed to hone my storytelling ability with a camera. And some teachers were terrible at that, but there was a few that were really good that I really appreciate having. So those experiences were worth it, I think, for me, because they taught me a lot about storytelling. But it was through that, getting back into college and then getting that fire that I was just like, I can. And it was right around the time that like the internet was becoming a bigger deal where that's where you find work and you're not flipping through a newspaper and you don't got to go, make a bunch of connections. There was just jobs on the internet and Craigslist was big back then. So it was just like people are paying photographers on Craigslist. Like I see like 20 posts a day for a video camera guy or a photographer guy. And some of it doesn't pay great, but I'm a college kid and I need all the experience. Maybe I get a good photo for my portfolio. Like if you're going to pay me a few bucks, I don't care. I'll be there. Cause I don't want to be working any other job that I need to be to get by. If you pay me anything, I will be there and I'll make a video. I'll take pictures. I don't care. Whoever will pay me to do that, I found a place where I can find people that will pay me to do that. So I will apply to every single one. Like I almost addicted to like as soon as I woke up, scroll Craigslist. Like okay, I got a lunch break at school, scroll Craigslist, and like apply to every single one. Like I didn't. Oh, maybe this is a scam. Maybe it's not. I'm at least trying. And so like it was just okay, I'm going to figure this out by like I'm casting the widest net that I possibly can. I'm making all the connections. I'm out on someone's not paying me, I'm on the street taking photos. If I got a school assignment, okay, I'll shoot that. If I don't, then I'm shooting something else. And I was just constantly shooting that. A businessman on the street, I didn't care. I would ask them for a picture and they'd be like, oh, what are you taking pictures for? I'm a photographer. Like I just take pictures. Like I wanted to be documentary. I want to be in journalism. And so I was just like, I'm a documentary photographer. Like that's what I'm doing. Oh, what outlet? I was like, no, that's what I do. That's who I am. I'm in school for it. But like, this has got to be a part of my being. So then some people were just like, oh, wow, this kid's got like ambition. Like he's making this. I got a corporate meeting coming up. Would you come shoot photos? And so like I got random jobs off a businessman walking downtown Pittsburgh just with my camera, just being active, just shooting as much as I could. A few people took notice and was just like, okay, you're going to shoot our business meetings now. And so I was one of the few people in my class that was like constantly working as a photographer while I was in school for photography. And I had originally signed up to get a bachelor's degree. And then I shortened that to just get an associate's because I was getting so much work that I was just like, okay, I gained some knowledge from these good teachers that I had that taught me about storytelling. I don't think I'm going to gain much by getting a bachelor's. I'm just getting associates and I can always come back and get that if I need that, but I don't think I need it. I need to go full steam ahead because I'm feeling traction right now. And if I could free up all the hours I'm going to school, that's more things I could be shooting. I see jobs for those hours, but I'm not taking them. So yeah.
Can I just say my goal for the two of you is to like do the opposite of other people. And it's like when everyone starts to live their life, quote unquote, you're like, well, Doug and I have registered for our first semester of college and we're going to go back to school and we're going to learn. And everyone else is like 60 and basically barely getting up a mountain. And you're like sitting in a classroom, like taking courses and learning knowledge, like learning new things. You're like, well, we've done it all, so might as well finish our degrees.
Ready for the classroom at age like 70. Yeah, sign me up now.
So good. And Doug, literally, you guys, this episode is like making me all the feels because your story is literally like the epitome of ordinary people living extraordinary lives. And what that really means is you're willing to do what most people won't do, right? Your word matters. You say what you're going to do, right? You go out there and actually, put your money where your mouth is in a sense. And, Doug, you just sharing how you were going to school and learning. And yet in that you were like, okay, but I'm going to go get more practice. I'm going to be my art form. I'm going to be a creator. I'm actually going to live that out. And it's not easy to like put blinders on, right? And to not listen to your parents and other people who are like, okay, well, how are you going to pay for your phone bill? How are you going to pay for insurance? What are you going to do? How are you going to meet a wife? Like literally all the stupid stuff that comes out of our family's mouth.
Yeah.
Literally heard it all. And you're like, and like, isn't it just so funny that like you now can look back and think, well, actually, we were creating to meet each other. Yeah, that's what we were doing. But I think it's just so important for people, like, no matter what you're doing, like, get so in love with what you're doing that you just ooze it, right? That like you were on the streets just taking photos and you got job opportunities, right? And it wasn't because you were like going out there and handing out your business card. You were in it. You were actively doing it. And here's the thing, again, this episode is going to be shared so many times because you two are so different and so similar. It's awesome in the fact that like not everybody is like you and I, Doug, where it's like we see what we want and we're going to go get it. And if you say I can't sit in the front row, you will have a front row seat to watch as I do it, right? Like that's the kind of person that you were. It was not and you were like, oh, I'm not holding a camera. Well, that's not for me. Like that takes such a sense of self and a sense of certainty and a sense of that's what I meant to do. And then, and that's not for everybody. And then you have Mindy, your story of like, okay, I know there's more. I know I meant to do it. I'm not sure, still feeling and navigating those changes of what am I going to do? But yet you weren't as certain as Doug was to be like, oh, I'm going to go do it. Right. Yeah. But your step was beautiful for what you needed and where you were at. And also what you had navigated in your 20s about losing that sense of self. Right. And I love that your stories are literally so cool because they're going to speak to so many people that are both, right? Like not everybody is Doug and not everybody is Mindy, but to be able to hear that both of those examples can still get where you want to go. Like you both literally ended up in the careers with the passions.
Yeah.
And you just took a different route together.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no one set route, but yeah, just gotta move towards it.
It's so incredible. It's just so cool. Doug, where do you think, because I'm so intrigued, where do you think this sense of like, no matter what, resilience, grit came from? Like, is this a genetic thing? Do they have a bottle of it that you can get at the store? Like where, because it oozes from you when you talked about it. Like, I know people are going to feel it. It's palpable. I know people say the same about me. And I just would love to know, like, where did that come from for you?
I just, in my small hometown, one of the people that I first got connected with, his name is Steve McGranahan, the world's strongest redneck. He's toured the world. He's been on the Tonight Show. He's been on a lot of TV shows, but he's noticed that we were making videos like, come over here. I want you to help me to make my videos. We made some videos for him for CMT and his YouTube. And, he's just a small town redneck guy that like found his shtick and sold it. And then my dad went to high school with a guy that moved to LA and he had some decent sized roles on some bigger movies. Was it Deep Blue Sea? He was like the boat captain and stuff. So he had some bigger roles. Like you can go to the theater and be like, oh yeah, I know that dude. He's from this town. And so I just saw that, okay, well, they figured it out and they're from this small town. And, I see there are photographers, there are people making movies. And yeah, some of them had an easier journey or some privilege that got them a leg up, but like people can figure it out. And,
if you want it bad enough.
I always heard that Warner Brothers' first movie theater was in my hometown. They started in Ohio in Youngstown, not far away, just 20 minutes from my hometown. And they shot some of the original Warner Brothers movies right in the area, and their first theater was in my town. So I was like, I don't know. I just felt like, people figured it out. You just gotta not quit. Like, and then like I heard stories about like Steve Carell and like Morgan Freeman. Like,
oh yeah.
And if you look back in movies, you'll see actors that got big recently that were in movies 20 years ago. And it was just like, the only people that I see fail are the people that quit. And I like the people from my hometown that no hate or shade against them, but they just got sick and they didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel and they gave up. They had a dream and they just said, screw it. I'm just going to do this job I hate and complain about it for the rest of my life because it pays me enough of a wage to provide for my family. And like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Because it's hard going for it.
But they could have done it if they didn't give up. Like the only way to fail is to give up.
Right.
And not everyone has a dream to do something great or incredible or something they love or
different,
like,
yeah.
or they don't even know if they want to because they haven't gotten an opportunity to do something they like enough that they're like, oh, I can make
Oh, this
money
is what I
from
wanna
doing
do.
something I
Yeah.
love. And that sucks. But like, if you have the drive that like, I want to do something, this is something I love. Maybe you can't be the best race car driver, but you can work on the team for the best race car
Yeah.
team. Like you could be the dude that puts on the tire for the best race car. Like maybe you don't fall into this thing, but you can fall around it some
Somewhere
way.
into, yeah.
Because we've all got our place in our purpose. And like, I had some goals about being a photographer, but it was just, I want to tell stories with images. That's my bottom line. I
Yeah.
like telling stories with images, whether it's still, whether it's video, whether it's a movie or a TV show or a commercial. Like
Yeah.
I've done all those things, or social media. It's all the same to me. Like people think it's so different. It's in my mind, from creating standpoint, it's all different. It's just a different medium to get it out to people. It's all the same fun process to
Right.
me. So whatever your thing you like and you're passionate about, like the only way you can fail at it is to give up.
Right.
Like look at some of we've been to the Louvre and some of the biggest museums.
Yeah.
And there's stuff on there you're like, what the hell is that? Like, that guy's famous. He's in the Louvre for like 1,000 years for like this little doodle. I can do that doodle. That guy didn't give up. Like, no,
It's true. For the point of his discussion, he didn't give up, right? Like,
Comic art. Yeah.
yes.
Comic
And
art.
so
Someone
it
else's
is.
art. Yeah.
Good for them. They figured out how to get
What was
their
theirs.
creativity out and people to understand and like it. Not everyone's going to understand and like it, but like,
Well, yeah.
as long as you don't give up, you're not going to lose.
Well, I like how you said you can at least fall somewhere. Like, because that's kind of like me. I wanted to act. That was where my dream started. And I'm not acting, but like I fell somewhere in the realm of what I wanted to do.
You're being creative. You're your own personality that we do creative videos and
I love doing it. Yeah.
It's
that's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't have to be, your dreams might pivot a little bit as you go and you might realize, oh, actually I want to do this, but you still have that like guiding star and like, the bottom line and like you're following that. Which is
and I mean, even for you, Mindy, like technically you're the main character in all of your stuff.
Like, yeah.
Being honest, like like
I just came up with the main character since I wasn't
like
okay.
Michael's production. Like you literally are producing your own main character energy.
Yeah, I mean, don't want to hire me as an actor? Fine, I'll go be my own.
That's great. And here's the thing is like you're getting so much more joy about that route, right? Because you would not be able to travel like that if you were reading lines in a script. And you know that you've done it. And I think for me and my faith, right? Like there was this reel that came about and it's so true. And it was this reel of like a small plane and it was like captioned "My Plan." And then behind it, an Emirates plane, which was 2.5 times the size, comes back and it's like God's plan. And it's like so much bigger and like more vast. And that's just like what I feel for you guys is like you just had this idea of what you wanted, what you were going to go and get. And what's so beautiful is that it has far exceeded your expectations for each other, for your marriage, for your craft, for, what you're doing together. But that's also, again, like, Doug, I wish I could have given you a mic because you were like on fire there 5 seconds ago. And I loved it so much. I'm like, I cannot wait for you to be out. Like, you need to get from out behind the camera. That's all I'm saying. Like, you have a gift. And it's true. Like, it is true. You have to be willing to never give up. Like, you don't know when the next move, when the next call, when the next business owner that's on the street is like, oh, hey, here's your opportunity. And also, to your point, Mindy, you don't know exactly how it's going to look. So if it doesn't look exactly the way you thought, that doesn't mean you fail. Keep going because it actually is going to probably be better than what we planned.
Exactly.
Because the real desires of your heart were to travel with that. And you get to do that. You get to travel and create stories, right? And still be the main character of your own, which is amazing. And I think I talked about this last time. Did we talk about the Tyler Perry documentary, Maxine's Baby?
I don't
Did
think
we?
Did
I
we?
thought we did.
Maybe we did. Okay, so it's like a really good. Okay, so date night for you guys, all right, is watching this movie, and it's called Maxine's Baby, and it's Tyler Perry's documentary.
Okay.
And the reason why I find it so profound, and I know you both are going to relate to this, is like there are moments, several of them, when you are striving for your dreams that really very few people can see but you. There's a handful of trusted, mentors and friends that catch the vision and are like behind you. But most of the time, you're feeling some sort of opposition, whether it's people that don't know you or it's like filled with love and coated with fear, right? And there's this constant, like every so many months, and I think for both of you, you've experienced a level of success where like the closer you get to success, sometimes the more frequent the like, oh, why not try? Why not? So I wonder if you can look back on your time and be like, wow, they were really trying to get me to stop right before it actually made this break in this opportunity that I needed, right? That's how you know you're about to hit something. Is when all your family comes out of the woodwork. It's like, are you sure you don't want to do
The
this?
final boss obstacle.
Yes. And so so for me, in my own story, is I've always been a dreamer. And, in the past like 7 years, I actually started to put actions and discipline behind those dreams. And I would say within the last 4 years, because of God in my life, things have just gotten so much faster. But it doesn't change the narrative, right? Because there's not evidence yet of all the things that I'm dreaming and envisioning. And yet I know they're going to happen. And I know that they're going to be beautiful. I know they're going to be abundant. I know that the sacrifice is going to be worth it, right? And so there is this sense of like, Doug, how you feel of like, no, like the only way to, fail is to give up. And in this movie, Tyler references an experience he had with his mother where his mom calls him towards the end of her life and she's crying and she was sick at the time. So he thought something was wrong. And she was like, no, baby, nothing's wrong. I just want to say thank you. And she thanked him because early in his career, she did everything to beg him to stop, to go get a job, to not pursue, to not keep going. And it's because he lovingly said, no, mom, like this is the thing. This is going to happen. Because of that, like loving way of saying, hey, I love you, but I'm going to keep going, is the reason why she was able to pay for her medication and able to live the life that she lived, was because of his no matter what, like I'm not, I just won't give up. And I remember watching that and just bawling because I felt like for the first time, like somebody could put into words and imagery what I have been feeling for the last 10 years around opposition and people that love me that just can't see it or whatever. And to know that moment happened for someone like Tyler Perry, to know that moment can happen for me, of like someone that loves me, right? And so that's what I think about for you guys too, is that you've probably already had those moments where someone says, hey, thank you for not giving up because you were able to do X, Y, and Z, or we were able to have this, you were able to have this experience recently with your parents, right? At the Grand Canyon. You probably would not have had that with them, right? If either of you pursued something different. And so I just love that moment of people, when you're willing to do tough things and to follow your dreams and no matter what, and to stick it out, people will live an abundant life as a result of that. And that's not just by money. That's time, that's experience, that's treasures, right? And so that just really came to mind when you guys were both sharing like just that grit and resilience. And you need to watch that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, no, definitely need to watch that. Yeah.
If you like that, I would recommend His Way. It's an HBO documentary.
Okay.
He was the producer of like the National Lampoon's movie and the Ocean's movie, like Ocean's 11. And he also produced Elvis's last tour.
Dang.
And he was just a young kid. I think he was an agent at one of the big agencies and just didn't take no for an answer. Now, I would say he's at the end of his life, gets a little crazy off the rails with like, I can get anything I want. But it's a good lesson in that, the only person that could stop you is yourself. Like if you don't oh, no? Okay, next person. No?
Next.
Okay, next person. Okay, you're no? Okay, next person.
I mean,
and just don't give up.
Yeah.
Like it's a good lesson in like, I can do anything I want. It's just the matter of time and persistence of willing to put into it.
Exactly.
I watched that movie early on in my career and I was just like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can do anything. Yeah. This dude figured it out and he was nobody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And two, I think I mean, that movie sounds really cool. I'm excited to watch that. I think it's also a good lesson of like check yourself also. Like, like know your like you
Yeah,
said, know your limits. Like you're not
yeah.
Mindy's like, Doug, you can't have everything. That's for sure. Okay.
Whatever I want. Okay.
This is not gonna work. You need to get it together. Okay. Um but I just think that's so yeah, I think we see these stories and it's called the 1% and it shouldn't be, right? But it's
Right.
because at the end of the day, there's a difference between those that are willing to do it and those that aren't. And
Yeah.
life is hard. There are so many
Yes.
reasons
Yeah.
why, there's
Yeah.
so many reasons why to say no and to give up. And I think it's so important. I talk early on in my health and wellness business, we talked about your why. Like, what's your why for doing this business? Because there's going to be a lot of reasons that come up for you to not do it. And I think when you have that head heart connection to your why, meaning it makes sense because I like to do this and I could make money or I could have a career. And then the heart connection is I literally cannot imagine doing anything else. Like my heart beats for that thing. When those two things connect, that why is really what sets people apart because you just like neither of you could think about doing anything else. They're like it didn't make it just didn't make logical emotional sense. Like everything else just felt crazy.
Yeah.
And that's when you've had that head heart connection is that it's not just your mind, it's not just your heart. Like they're tethered and it gives you this like groundedness of like,
Yeah.
no, we'll keep going.
I know, and you're right. It does. It grounds you. It grounds us through the crazy and the hard stuff. Because well, it's a frequent occurrence. I'll be like, why do we choose this life? It's so hard. Like I'm like, oh, it's a roller.
Yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah. We're like, why? And then I look at him and I'm like, I know. There's literally, I couldn't do anything else. Like I want.
Yeah.
This is what I want. Head and heart, both of them want this. But yeah, you have to want it because
But last
You
week
have
we
to.
had at Utopia, the campsite in
Yeah.
the forest. Some friends came and visited
It's
us.
like, this
We
is
had
why
a
I
great
do
time
it.
with them. It was the idyllic if like you want to live or even just go camping for a weekend. It was the ideal
Idyllic. Yeah.
camping. And then yesterday was
The opposite.
the opposite.
Well, and that's just the point too, is that so many people think that just because you say yes to following your dreams doesn't mean that you don't have these emotional moments of breaking down, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, and nobody really talks about that. And I'm glad that you organically came up with that because I think that's so important is like, just because you decide and you have this head heart connection, you're going to keep going doesn't mean the doubt's not going to be there. Have you guys seen the movie Twisters, the new one that just came out?
No, I need
No,
to. I don't
the
know if I
one,
should
no.
though.
It's good.
It's-
It's okay. Well, maybe not. But anyways, there's this part where Glenn Powell, the preacher of the young these days, says he says, you're not absent of fear. You just ride it. And I was like, ooh, I love that because
That's true. Yeah.
it doesn't go away. Fear will always exist. But it's a matter of, and you can't be fearless because there's really, I mean, I could argue with someone, but like, it doesn't really go away. You just get really used to pushing fear aside, like
Yeah.
someone that practices doing fearful things will have less of it than someone who doesn't. Right. But I think in that element of what you guys are doing and what creators and entrepreneurs and people that are dreaming big and going after those things is riding the fear, right? Is knowing like, hey, it's going to happen. But no matter what, I'm going to have in my at-home sweats, we're going to cry. We're going to eat something like good to fill our bellies. We're going to go to bed and wake up in the morning feeling better, right?
Yeah.
And that's probably literally what you did. And so it's like you have to have those moments.
Yeah. I was just like, all right, I'm over it. What? I started listening to a podcast.
Cookies.
Oh yeah, it was chocolate chip cookies last night. Yeah, I was like, give me some of your cookies.
That's it. And you know what? Like you can't walk around like we as creators and dreamers and visionaries and just whatever it is that you're willing to do, what most people aren't going to do. We have to be willing to talk about those things, right? Talk about the moments that like suck because I think so many people, first off, they go in thinking they're going to be, immune to that, right? But then also just to give people like the real truth, which is like, it is hard. Hard doesn't stop. It's just that connection, that groundedness is so strong that you will whine and cry for a minute in a trusted space and you'll move on, right?
Exactly.
And That's it. Right. And again, it's not despite of heart. It's not despite fear. You just do it
Right.
anyway.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, I'd say, I've over the years I've gotten the opportunity to put a lot of rich, famous celebrities, billionaires on TV and be in close proximity to them in private areas for many hours at a time. And so many people aren't happy. Like some of the richest people, I'm standing in an $8 million mansion, and I can see them being a terrible human to other humans that they're close to, and they're not happy. And it's success and money. I've never seen it synonymous with happiness. It's just finding
Your head and heart connection.
your
Yeah.
head and heart connection, just like your
Yeah.
passion. As long as you get to do what you love every day, you'll find joy in it,
Yeah.
whether there's monetary or, public success of it. It's, are you doing what you like to do?
Now, obviously, you need money to survive.
Yes,
isn't it? But,
yes,
Right. Yeah.
yes. There's obviously the
but you
range
don't
of
have
the
to
gamut.
be like a
I'm just putting
billionaire.
it out that, like, I've had experiences in rooms that most people never get to be in.
Yeah.
And I've been in those rooms and just like, this rich, famous person
Not happy.
is less happy than me.
Yeah.
Living in our camper.
An 80
Yes.
square foot camper.
Yeah, and they're making more money today than I made all year.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. For sure.
yeah.
Well, and I
it's
just
like-
think that's also part of like, okay, so money has never been a motivator for me. Like it just doesn't motivate. I grew up having none. So like it doesn't motivate me. Right. And so I'm like, okay, I've had none. I'll just keep having none. But part of that has been, okay, how can I create dreams where I get to bring people along? And so I have some really beautiful dreams where financial abundance is going to be stewarded in beautiful ways so I can love people well, right? So I can give and I can not, it's not an afterthought, right? It's not
Right.
I have this money.
Well,
No, this is my
exactly.
why.
Yeah.
Right. This is my why, is to be able to know that I'll be in a place that I can just say, hey, let me do these things.
Yes.
One of them, for example, is being able to have a lake house and a beach house, to be able to then like just offer it to people that in my life that I know would really benefit for vacation time, and they just pay for the cleaning person, right? Like there's got to be skin in the game. It's important for people to have skin in the game, right? But like
Right.
to be able to have a resource like that maybe some of my friends or people that I know don't make enough to have a vacation. And can I offer a week-long thing where they can make memories with their family that they don't have to put money into? And it's
Yeah.
priceless. And that's the kind of stuff that motivates me to do what
Yeah.
I'm doing, is like to be able to give opportunities that I know most people won't be able to create. But what is that lasting impact? What is that legacy? People don't care what you say, they care how you make them feel. And to me, dreaming a life like that, to be able to, again, like have your parents out and have friends out and to love on people, to pour into people in the lifestyle that you have. It's so much more rich than having, all the money and not sharing it and not getting able to steward it.
No, I mean, I feel like I'm very similarly to you. That's why, like, one of the greatest moments was being able to, like, take my parents on these trips. And I hope to one day be able to take them on grander ones. And, hope to buy them a camper one day. They can join us on the road, because that's been their dream for, like, ever. Like, I grew up with them having that dream. So they're kind of like, wait, how are you doing this? We were supposed to retire and live this first. And I'm like, so yeah.
I'm working on it.
No, I'm trying. My mom's not retired yet, so I have some time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that, and then just helping people. I mean, we've always been like that. Like I'm not stingy with my money. I want to help people. Like we always are helping the homeless, like everything. I'm just like, money is not. Yeah, I want to live, like you said, make people feel good and make the world a better place. Now, obviously, you need some money to do that, but I don't. Billions or millions, I don't need that.
What am I going to do with that?
Yes.
I don't know. Like,
I feel
and
like
again,
inherently you become a bad person if you have that much money anyways. So I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah. And it's just this weird topsy-turvy thing too, of like, you make so much money means you're a bad person, or you make so much money and then like you have to give, right? And so it's like, it's just a weird dynamic that we have around money. But I feel like if you if you come up, and again, you both can attest to this, and the people that are in the 1%, if you come up being about that, from the moment that you were making $5 to the moment you're making $500,000 a film, it doesn't matter, right? Like you're going to be about that thing. You're going to feel it from that person, no matter their status, no matter their title. They've always been that way. And I think it's so important if you are a dreamer and you want financial freedom and you want abundance in life, start doing it now. Because if you don't do it now with $1 in your bank account, you're surely never going to do it with $100,000 in your bank account. And that's your character. That's your integrity, right? And for me, like, I know God honors that. And just the stewarding and just being kind and loving your neighbor and all those things. And some of that does mean financially. But if you can't do it with little, why the heck would you have a lot? Because you're definitely not going to do it then.
Exactly. Yes. Definitely agree.
So cool. Okay, last question, because we can literally talk for hours. This has been so much fun.
I know.
I'm like, this is so much fun. Okay, what are you guys like? Okay, we obviously established hashtag couple goals, hashtag work couple goals, hashtag like what other hashtags you can come up with. What are you guys really the most excited about and looking forward to as, collaborators in this creative space together?
Ooh, that's a good question. You go first. I'm curious to see what you're most excited about.
Excited about? We're always brainstorming and spitballing ideas back and forth. And, we've been talking recently about getting out to more lesser visited remote places that there's not a lot of media, there's not a lot of not a lot of things
coverage
online.
At all.
Yeah,
People don't know much about them at all.
Yeah. And I think that's the big goal and passion is to get out there to more remote areas and tell more stories that don't get told, because I think that's what a lot of people today, even all over the spectrum, hate about the media. Like, one thing gets traction, so everybody's talking about it, but this person has their spin, that person has that spin, so you could see it from every different angle because they've looked at it from every angle, but they're only talking about these
same thing,
5 things. And different things are happening all over the world, and just because there's only 15 people that live here doesn't mean they don't matter. They have we found they have some of the most interesting stories to tell, and we've been to like the most remote town in the lower 48 states of America, and a few other remote areas where, like 10 people live, 15 people live, and it takes hours down a dirt road to get to.
And they have such crazy stories.
Yeah, it's just like most people don't realize some people live this way in America in the year 2025. And so those are the projects I'm most excited for, is to just like tell more stories about things less people know about.
Well, okay, so similarly, we're excited about similar, of course, things, obviously, because we had these ideas together. But just in general, I've finally started getting into YouTube and long form videos. So I'm very excited about that because I want to tell more in depth and longer stories. And like, we're still trying to figure out what exactly, like what angles we want to do and stuff. So kind of like, all over the place now. We're like a little bit of van life, a little bit of truck camper life, family road trip. Then we have like a tourism, like travel guide video. But like the ideas we have, I think are pretty solid, and I'm so excited to like move forward with them. And just tell longer stories.
I love that. Gosh, so cool. So cool. I will obviously want all the stuff that they can follow you on in a second, but I want to wrap up with 2 lifestyle questions. And this is going to be interesting because you don't have a to-go place, but I'm very fascinated to know, like, what is your favorite, like, coffee shop, maybe that you frequent a lot in your...
Yeah, I already read this question, and I have 2 of mine.
I'm just ready. Okay.
Wait, it does have to be a coffee shop, though?
It could be a drink spot. Like if it's like smoothies or something, it doesn't have to be just coffee
shop. Because we've got some good ones we've been to that I feel like.
Yeah, okay.
And some of them we've frequented a couple of times. Like it might be once or twice a year, but...
No, I know. But that's so hard because so one of the prettiest places that I loved was the one in Kiva Coffee House in Escalante, Utah.
Okay.
That's gorgeous. However, we were only there... Were we there twice?
Twice.
Okay. I was like, wait a second. Okay, we were there twice. But like I don't know, it wasn't like, I don't know, I didn't go there and do work or just sit and people watch. Like we were there hanging out. So like it didn't have this
Yeah, but we're forever nearby. Are you gonna stop?
Yes, I'm gonna stop. And look, it. That's not what I'm saying, but I didn't have this connection to it. I'm trying to think of
The other one I was gonna say, what is it? A dam, the one in Boulder City.
Oh, in Boulder City, I do love that one. Yes.
We've worked there a lot.
Yes, I have a connection for that.
Numerous times over numerous years.
And like big opportunities. I was working on big, exciting things. So I feel like I have a deep
and it's
connection
just
with
like
that one.
a nice, inviting place. Like all the food's good, all the drinks are good.
That's definitely, yeah.
What's the name?
It is it's a dam. No, I think you're thinking of Amsterdam. I think it's some Dam Roasters or something.
Okay.
Because it's by the Hoover Dam.
Right beside the Hoover.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Boulder City. And we've done a lot of work and hanging out
in
there.
That area,
And anytime we're nearby, we're like, oh,
we took my parents.
There. Yeah,
we literally took my parents. Yeah.
So cool. So cool.
That's definitely up there. Yeah, that's probably one.
Have you guys been to I have a photo of it and I'll have to remember the name. It's in Utah. Don't remember the town. But if I go to the photo, obviously it'll tell you the location of where the photo was taken. But it's like a big sky. And it's like this random coffee shop, drive-through only. I'll find it and send it to you because I can't remember where it was because it was when we were doing the Mighty Five a couple of years ago and we were in between one national park to the next. And I for anybody needs to hear this, I don't know. I mean, I think it's irony and it's beautiful, but like Utah's had some of the best coffee I've ever had. And that is not that humor is not lost on me.
Right. It's true though. They did, yes. Very good coffee.
So good. So good.
Your brother lived in Salt Lake and they're it up in Salt Lake City.
Exactly. There's this restaurant. I'll send it to you. It's also called in Salt Lake. We stumbled on it. We didn't even think we were in the right spot because it's randomly in this neighborhood. And I'll look up the name. And it's literally like farm to table. Like the menu is made fresh that day. Like you don't know what you're getting. The service was great. The food was great. Like those are my vibes. I feel like they're your vibes too.
We just at a place like that in
Palm Springs
a couple weeks ago.
It was called Farm. I think it was called Farm.
Yeah, it was called Farm.
Yeah. So good.
So good. So good. Okay. What is a book that you guys have read recently or just read in general that you've read multiple times that you're like, ooh, someone needs to read this? And it's okay if it's young adult. There's no offense.
No, I'm just talking because like the books I read are not like my lifestyle. I'm a very big fantasy nerd.
Okay. So like share it. Because someone else is listening is gonna relate to it.
Okay.
A lot of people are.
Okay. I just read the War of Lost Hearts trilogy. And I love the main characters, female, badass. And I identify with her like struggle. The first book's called A Daughter of No Worlds, and I was like, ooh, intrigued by that, and like the themes in that I love. So yes, it's fantasy, but also there's like real life themes in there. And
that's great.
Yeah. So
it doesn't have to be personal growth books. I know, just
like of course I love Into the Wild like that, and I read Meryl Strayed Wild. I did and have read a lot of books that are like have inspired my life journey. But
now that you're living it.
Now that I'm living it. Yeah, that is funny how that works. Because now that I'm living it, I just read fantasy fairies.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah. Because like you're doing it in real life. You don't need to go to a place, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool.
That's probably why I've segued into
Yeah. All right, Dad.
Well, I don't like to reread or revisit many things, but one of my favorite books that I have reread and I've rewatched the documentary and I've rewatched the TV series that they made a documentary is One Man's Wilderness. It's the story of Dick Pronicki in the 60s. He was a blue-collar guy, worked blue-collar jobs, never found a wife. So in his 50s, I believe, he took all his money, sold all his belongings, moved to the middle of nowhere in Alaska, had some guy in a bush plane drop him off beside a lake, and then he just made himself a cabin, and he had the few tools that he brought with him and a couple of bags of rice and a few supplies, but he built a cabin, he fished, he hunted, and lived out there year-round, winter and summer for quite a few years, completely alone in the wilderness. And he kept a diary and a journal. He took photos and videos. That's how they made the book and the documentary. He documented everything. And so I just think it's almost like the original YouTuber in the 60s. Like this dude was filming himself, doing photography, writing everything down. building a cabin, living like a pioneer. Like he's like one of the last like, homesteaders to go out live in the wilderness
nowhere,
by
yeah.
himself with like no communication. Like today, some people homestead and
You have Starlink.
you got Starlink or you
Yeah.
got this or someone delivers your water or you drive down no, dude was
out there.
he's either walking hundreds of miles through the wilderness or getting picked up by a plane that come once a year to just check on him.
Wow. So basically, he ran so you could walk, Doug. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
Exactly.
I love that. Oh, so cool. I will put that info in the show notes so people can get the books and go to the coffee shops.
Yeah.
And I would love to know, where can everybody, because now everyone's going to be obsessed with you, where can they find you and where can they experience what you're doing and just however they want to be involved in whatever it looks like?
Okay. Well, pretty much I am Mindy on the Move on every platform, TikTok, Instagram. My YouTube's at Mindy on the Move.
Website,
My website's mindyonthemove.com. Yeah, so pretty much Mindy on the Move. And yeah, that's where you'll find me, whichever social media platform is your favorite to use. I will say I am most present on Instagram as of currently, but I am segueing to be more present on YouTube in the long run.
Cool. Very cool. Doug, what about yourself?
The Doug Michaels on most platforms. Follow me for the pictures. All the videos are on her page. If you want to hear more of the stories in the videos, all on her page. But yeah, if you want to see some,
he shares way more photos though.
Pictures, yeah, the Doug Michaels.
I love it. Oh, guys, this was such a treat. I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Oh yeah,
I
had a great time. Thank you so much for having us. We really enjoyed it.
You're so welcome. You guys, for those that are listening and watching, follow wherever you can follow them. You're going to be just as obsessed and your algorithm will start just looking like Mindy, just like looking around in beautiful nature, doing awesome things. And you can thank me for it because that's what my algorithm looks like right now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know her. She's so cool. So follow them, share this episode. I absolutely know this is going to be an incredibly shared episode because so many people can relate to the life you guys are living, the struggles you've had. And so just share. Follow The Brittany Wheeler Show on TikTok, Instagram. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. It's still weird to say, and I'll continue to say it until it's not weird because we're going to be on YouTube. This is so cool. And as always,
ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Subscribe. Yeah, there we go. See? This is why you have a Doug in your life because he's way more well-versed than I am. So cool. As always, do good things, make me proud, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.